Leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the fuck up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys. All right, we're live.
Let's go. And we're live.
That was unbelievable. All right, we're live. Come on.
Hey, stop messing with me. Don't distract me. All right, we're live. Pregame show, Detroit Lions, Arizona Cardinals. I'm fired up. This game, fellas, and we've discussed it all week. Lions are 1-1. It's not a must-win. I know we throw that word around a lot, but this is like an ideal win. All right, tough, gritty Cardinals team, Lions team who just dropped one of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, again, I guess the Broncos are kind of struggling. Not going to lie to you, but hey, Lions got to get one, boys. It is a big game, whether you want to believe it or not.
It is a big game. 1-1. You can't start the season 1-2. I've been telling people to calm down. There's no calm down now. The Doc, shout out to Doc. It's go win a football game. Bounce back. Go figure out a way to get a win one way or another. I don't care how bad of an offense is, how bad of the defense is. I don't care. Just go get a football win today. When they leave today, they better be 2-1. That's all. I want to this Kool-Aid, I want to drink that at the end of the day. That's all I care about today. That is it. So everyone, there's no calm down. Fire up. Go get a win. I class
Get a W. They need a W this week, plain and simple, because when you look at it right now, Houston Texans are up 14, or the Minnesota Vikings are up 14-0 over the Houston Texans. And that's a big game considering, one, the Vikings are in the division. If they pick up a win over the Texans, later on in the season, the Lions have to go up and face against the Texans. So that's a big matchup. And then you look at the Packers right now going into Tennessee. I mean, I thought that would be the game where Tennessee kind of gets it going. They've been that close to getting the wins, but Will Levis keeps shooting himself in the foot. But Malik Willis looks like the Malik Willis that Tennessee never saw and that they shouldn't have traded away for Will Levis. So it's going to be interesting. The NFC North right now, outside of the Bears, who just can't get anything going offensively, the defense again showing up. The Lions, it's kind of not a must-win like you said, but this is a big game for the Lions, not just because they're playing against a good team in the Cardinals, but to stay ahead in the NFC North, because this is clearly the Detroit Lions, in my opinion, the best team in the NFC North. But I don't think this is a situation where you want to fall behind at any point.
Yeah, we'll be covering the game thoroughly today, pregame, watch party, and postgame. And again, huge shout out to the sponsor of our channel and of Sunday programming. That's Real American Beer. We got our
Let me get one.
We got a ton here.
It's a beautiful Klotz.
I mean, look at this.
Cheers, brother.
Might as well just crack one open. It's game day.
Oh,
you just fingered the phone. What are
cheers,
you doing?
Brother. Not my finger got it.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers. Hey, Real American Beer, the best beer for the National Football League and drinking beer for some football. I love it. We've had some pizza and now we're drinking beer.
Yep, it's the best, arguably the best combination.
Hey, real quick, can you hit the green button that's lighted up on the?
Unbelievable.
Yes, sir.
Great beer.
Big shout out to them taking care of us for this for Sunday programming for Crunch Time Sports. And again, fellas, I know we're going to get into a lot of the matchups. I think the biggest one, and I talked about it with my impact players, it starts with Jared Goff. I think we'll start on offense. Jared Goff this week. Not that last week, for him, it was a bad game. So far through the first two games, for him, it's been bad games. What we know from Jared, efficiency, no turnovers, and this offense, what they asked Jared to do did not align with what they asked him to do last week. It was throw the ball 55 times. They were bad in the red zone. That's clearly the biggest problem with this Lions team, and they have to fix it this week for against this Cardinals defense, which I think they will have more success against. But for Jared Goff, I think this game, it's not about it means everything, but it's a good game for him and the offense to kind of get back in the right direction, be a top 5 offense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing with Goff. Like, I don't know, I put out something on our social graphic or our socials today, a graphic. Like, Jared Goff's 8-1 versus the Cardinals.
It is kind of wild.
Like, he's dominated the Arizona Cardinals, and like that's not just like a record where it's like that's just luck. Like, no, like he plays good versus them. He's been playing bad for 2 games now. You see stretches of Jared Goff where he goes on these tough stretches, and luckily coming out of one of them, you're only 1-1, and he still has been able to play decent football outside of last week. Like, he's still been able to find a way to win a football game. So it's like, all right, bounce back, get back to the real Jared Goff, the MVP style that we've talked about, that I've talked about, that he could be this year. It's a dome. Go out there, throw for 200 yards, get all three of those guys, the main targets involved, get all of them going, and get this offense back on track. Like Jared said it all week. Like, he's the one that's making the bad throws. He's the one that's turning the ball over. He's the one that needs to calm down. And like, once your quarterback and your captain and the guy that's running this ship, once he kind of gets things back on track, the offense picks back up, and that's where the run game starts. The offensive line gets more confident. All of that happens, and it starts through Jared Goff. That's all. That's how it is.
And matchup-wise, it's probably the best matchup that you're going to get opportunity-wise for a get-back game, a get-right game, because even when you travel later in the season, you look at matchups like the Tennessee Titans. They're not the best team, but defensively, they're pretty good. Arizona, it's just a different situation. I understand that they have 7 sacks, the same amount as the Detroit Lions heading into week 3. But when you look at the offensive line that they went up against, it's not the Detroit Lions offensive line. They have a good safety duo in Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson. But outside of that, like, you're talking about guys like Kaiser White. We had Kyler on earlier this week, and he was talking about Kaiser White, somebody that you got to kind of watch. And not saying that Kaiser White is a bad player, but Kaiser White is not the guy you want leading your front 7 against this offensive line, this running back duo, and Jared Goff. So this is an opportunity where the Lions 11 is better than the Arizona Cardinals 11 on the defensive side. They'll probably play a little bit better than you'd expect because Jonathan Gannon is a good defensive coach. So they won't be getting dragged around, but there should just be spurts of this game where the Detroit line just dominate and have their way and just get back to their identity.
Yeah, this offensive line, especially in the red zone. Yeah, we blame Ben Johnson. I think that's fair. He needs to be, held responsible for his the play calling, just how the offensively they looked. But the offensive line, specifically the interior, Frank Ragnow, they have to bounce back this week, especially in the run game. You can't be in the red zone and 7 of your runs go for 3 or less yards or whatever the stat was. Like, they had no success. This is a team that when you get at the 5-yard line, they're punching it in every 90% of the time, especially on the ground. So this week against the Cardinals on the road, this is a game where you set the tone. This offensive line gets back to what they typically are, which is a dominant run blocking, pass blocking front, and this offense has success. Now, I think another player that you're looking at this week, Sam Laporta, I think Sam this week, what I'm expecting out of Sam is, I know he's been kind of working back, trying to get more, he's been getting more healthy, but at least being more involved in the game plan, because last week he was open, wasn't a huge part of the game plan. This week, I think Sam Laporta, and we'll get to it later, more in depth about who we think plays well, so on and so forth. But Sam Laporta this week, got to get him involved. And I think this Cardinals defense will have a lot of trouble guarding him. A lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Sam Laporta is one of the best tight ends in the NFL. This man has had, like, week 1, he had a bad week, Jeff, and he's still at 48 yards.
Right.
Week 2, he just doesn't get any target. Like, guys, Sam Laporta is going to be Sam Laporta. Yeah, he's going to find a way to get back. He's going to bounce back. I'm not going to comment too much on him because I do have some bets later in the show. I just want to say this. If you know me, there's a certain bet that I do every week. A player by the name of Sam Laporta might be it. So, I mean, if you want to get in before the lines start to move.
Some would call it maybe a legacy play.
I don't know. I'm not commenting on that, Klotz. Not making a comment. Not me.
No, but I won't do it. Again, I'm not going to reiterate it too much. But again, when you talk about just for this offense to get going, this is, again, another perfect matchup for Sam Laporta to get going, given the defense that he's going up against. So setting up that play action, getting back to the run game like we all expect to see, that'll obviously help Sam Laporta.
I want to say, too, in the chat, Champy said Trey McBride is greater than Laporta. We have some Cardinals fans infiltrating our pregame show. Listen, Champy. Champy.
Trey McBride, very
great
fine
name.
tight end.
He's legit.
Good tight end. We're talking about
Very
Sam
good.
Laporta, first-team All-Pro. Where's Trey McBride's first-team All-Pro? Champy? I don't see it.
Champy.
What about second-team All-Pro? What about Pro Bowl? Does he have? Oh, my bad. Sorry. Thought he was good.
Trey McBride, very good.
Not today.
But
he sucks today.
Yeah, today.
Well, no,
has the
he's
worst
good
game of his
because
career.
that's who Brian Branch is probably been most of the time.
So he's going to have a tough game.
He's definitely going to have a tough game. And not to mention, like I said, Trey McBride, very fine tight end, very good passing threat, but he's not even close to Sam Laporta is in the blocking game. Like, it's not close. Sam Laporta, he's basically like an extra offensive tackle out there when he's fully healthy.
I feel bad for Champy. Being a Cardinals fan, that has to suck, dude.
Be rough. Hey, not as bad being a Rams fan this year.
Yeah, I would say the Rams, and you mentioned the sack number. I mean, yeah, the Lions, I guess Aiden has destroyed everyone in front of them, but it's not like mean, the Bucs offensive line, at least their tackles, pretty good. They were out of tackle.
Yeah.
But the Cardinals, I don't really know how to measure this defense for them because of who they've kind of faced. Like the Rams were even more injury riddled after the Lions played them. And they played the Bills very tough. Don't really know. I know it's week 1. I'm not trying to take anything away. It was impressive. But I don't know how to rate this Cardinals team. I think you're going to find out a lot about them today against the Lions. Like I'll be more comfortable to measure them today. If they play the Lions a tough game, I think I'll have even more respect for them this year. And Jonathan Gannon. I'm
going to try and do this as best as I can here for us. Breaking news, though, here, and I'm going to do my best. Work with me here, guys. Inactives have been announced for the Detroit Lions. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw them up. Detroit Lions inactives today. Guys who are out. Ife Melifonwu, safety, out. Ennis Rakestraw, out. Big one. Big one. This is a game changer. Alex Anzalone is out for the Detroit Lions today. He is out with the concussion. I think it was one of those things, guys, and I could be wrong, but the way Dan Campbell spoke about it, and this is what I truly believe this when it comes to it, you have the concussion protocol. You can get back to practice, and he was limited practice, all that. But if you have any symptoms heading into Sunday, you can't play.
Right.
Like they will not allow you to play because you don't want to be stuck in that situation to where a guy still has symptoms, goes in and gets another or worse concussion. So I'm sure he had some symptoms this morning. You see James Houston's out. Obviously, Giovanni Manu and Colby, they've been out the last couple of weeks, and then Isaiah Williams out as well. That Alex Anzalone one, guys, is insane. That's a shocking one.
That's significant. I know we talked a lot about Jack Campbell, Klotz this week.
Yeah.
One of my impact players, Jack Campbell. This opportunity for him is massive. It's a little different. I know he's still in his second year, but to me, you're a first round pick. Last year, we gave him grace. He played Sam out of position a little bit. This year, he's playing that Will position. Today, he'll be playing Mike. He'll be wearing the green dot. Him and Derek Barnes. I don't know who will be exactly. It'll probably be Jack Campbell, but they might share some duties. Who knows? Jack Campbell today, Klotz, he's got to look sharp.
Yeah, has to.
Against a very mobile quarterback.
Very mobile quarterback, a very good tight end that we were just talking about, especially in the receiving game, and Trey McBride. And then he's going to have a hell of a time with James Conner because James Conner quietly has been one of the best running backs in the NFL over the last couple of games, even dating back to last year. 13 games and over 1,000 rushing yards with that offensive line is saying something. And he's a threat out of the backfield. And James Conner, I kind of was saying it during the show this week, but he has some of that David Montgomery effect where he's not the flashiest guy, but he's just always falling forward. He's always fighting for extra yards. And he's that guy that on 1st and 10, they want to give it to James Conner, so that way they're looking at 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2, and they just try to keep themselves in manageable play calling so Kyler can make a play, and then you keep trying to get James Conner funneled up, and that's when you shoot it over the top to Marvin Harrison. So if Jack Campbell, he needs to step up, and he needs to have a big game in order to keep this defense in a position where they want to, because Alex Anzalone, that's just kind of a game where you go in there and you trust that Alex Anzalone is going to do his job. Jack Campbell, we know he has the talent to, but against this offense with Trey McBride, Kyler Murray, and James Conner, he's going to have his hands full. So it's going to be interesting to see, but obviously I hope it pays off for him.
Yeah, I think Jack has had enough time to, at least today, for him to go out there, look like he belongs. I know it's a tough ask for him in against Kyler Murray, who's, I think, one of the hardest players at quarterback to stop with when he runs, when he extends plays. Like Lamar Jackson, obviously. And there's other guys, but Kyler Murray's up there because he's small, he's quick, he's agile. And Jack, even though, in pass coverage, it has not been great, he's still someone that people look at for his athleticism. I think today it's not just about the tackles, right? I've been saying this. He can tackle. It's about where he is. Can he fill that Anzalone role? Anzalone's first to the ball every snap. First to the ball. Jack Campbell, that's going to be his job today. How does he look in pass coverage? You're not going to put him on Trey McBride, obviously. So against, like you said, James Conner, I think he'll be fine today. I don't want, people to overact too much if he struggles, but also, man, it would be nice to see him go out there and lead the team in tackles and just disrupt this game. I think that's important for Jack Campbell and his development.
You guys wouldn't be concerned at all if he struggles today?
I would be concerned. I don't know where Booner is with it.
And this isn't saying that he's going to be a bust, but as far as is he ever going to reach that first overall potential? I'm not saying that he's going to go out there and earn it or not today.
I guess I'll say this, it's context. Like if Kyler Murray's out there running around making a miss, I won't be too mad. But if he's just consistently in the wrong place, like, I'm definitely going to be. I think he's had enough time now at this point. And I believe in him. I mean, he was my #1 breakout player, so I still have faith in him. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be a little disappointed today.
I would say I would be a little like he does it like you're in year 2. You have to take a step forward. You're a first round draft pick as a linebacker. Like eventually, you need to see that step forward. I thought last year when Anzo was out versus Saints, Jack had a good game. And even like I thought he stepped up and you were able to win that game, and he wasn't a reason that took you out of it. So I do think that Anzo is you have an opportunity with Anzo out to see what Jack Campbell can do. It is a big test though. Like you need Jack Campbell to step up, because you can't go in knowing if there's another time where Anzo's out or this guy's out. Like you need to know Jack Campbell can play. Like he's supposed to be your green dot in a couple of years, and he's supposed to take over that Anzo role at some point. So if he's not able to do that, then that's where we run into a problem where it's like, all right, how far are you developing? Because you thought, like, at least in my mind, a year into it, okay, there should be some development and he should be able to take a big step. So I think he's going to be fine today. It's a good test for him though, versus Kyler Murray and Trey McBride that he's probably going to be on at times. Like
I doubt he's on Trey McBride.
Then maybe
he's gonna have to be.
There's going to be times. Like he's not going to never have Trey McBride.
You did draft him to cover guys like Trey McBride.
Absolutely.
And I will say the thing, especially in the run game against James Conner, the thing that's definitely going to help Jack Campbell that wasn't here last year, and I think we're going to see more of him this week, is DJ Reader. DJ Reader, when you talk about linebackers or defensive tackles, especially one like DJ Reader who takes up two guards or 2 tackles, who just commands a double team.
Yeah,
whatever it takes. That's going to open up plays for Jack Campbell to get behind the backfield. And even if it's not behind the backfield, 1 to 2 yards for James Conner to be tackled in. So DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil with no Anzo, those are 2 guys that have to step up as well.
I do think as well, on top of that, Klotz, a good point is, and this is actually really good for the Lions team. I'm not saying him out. I'm just saying that it's good that the Lions have been putting Malcolm Rodriguez into more opportunities the first 2 weeks. And same, getting Derek Barnes in there more. So now, like Anzo's out, okay, we have Rodrigo, we have Barnes. Like, we have guys. Yeah, and like Rodrigo, like last year, he got a lot of snaps taken away. This year, the first 2 weeks, he's been getting snaps. So it's not like he's just coming in just absolutely cold. He hasn't played yet this year. He has to just all of a sudden go play 30 snaps. He's been getting snaps, and he's been looking good out there when he's out there. And same with Derek Barnes. If you need to move Derek Barnes back and throw maybe Rodrigo in the Sam spot, I don't know how they're going to go.
Germ.
Or
he's
Germ, yes.
All the time.
So like there's going to be opportunities for guys to be able to go in there and make plays. And I said it from before, and there were a lot of people who didn't think the Lions linebacking crew had depth. I thought it was probably one of the deepest rooms that we have.
Yeah.
So like Anzo's out, okay.
The most like solid group. Like they don't have an Amon Ra, like a Brian Branch or a Panay or a Jahmyr Gibbs, but you look at Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, Jalen Reeves-Maven. Like that's a solid like B to B plus group that has depth. So it's a game where you can, not where you want to lose Anzo, but you can afford to compared to other position groups. Where if you lose like a Carlton Davis this week, it's going to make you sweat a little bit more when you have Terry on, and then Ennis Rakestraw's also out. So I think there's just levels to it. This is a very good room, so it's one of those where you can afford an injury time to time.
Yeah, I mean, we saw like Germ step up last year, and he had that game against the Bears, I think, where he just had like a sack.
Yeah.
And he played really well. So in terms of depth, the Lions have it. So no Anzalone, even though he's one of the best players on defense. Yeah, it stinks, but the position group is pretty deep. So, even Malcolm Rodriguez, I'd feel pretty comfortable if Malcolm Rodriguez out there. I mean, I just would. I don't think the drop-off super significant. Now, it's something to keep iffy, on the other hand. Not too surprised. I know I see the Cardinals inactives list as well, and the backup.
So Nolan Bianchi, shout out Nolan. He said another third-string tackle for Aiden Hutchinson to feast on.
So the tackle, Calvin Beachum, who the Cardinals had backing up Jonah Williams, is out. So that means it's going to be the triple backup.
Yep.
Backups cubed is going to be facing Aiden Hutchinson. That's
backup cube.
That's a problem.
What do you think? Another 4.5 sacks?
I mean,
yeah.
I would love. You
have to double him, right? You can't put that guy one-on-one. There's no way.
I would love.
You just can't.
That would be unbelievable. I think what's going to happen, you might have to double Hutch. I mean, at this point, if you're the Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator, right, or the O-line coach, you're trying to figure out what's a scheme that we can have to get Hutch out of the game. First 2 weeks, all right, guys have been trying to double Hutch. All right, they're still doubling DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil. I think you have to be like, we have to throw everything at Hutch. Let's make Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader make a play. Like, let's make some of these other guys make a play. Let's throw everything at Hutch and take him completely out. And this is just, I hope this doesn't happen because, I have Defensive Player of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson. But if you're going to do something like offensively against Aiden Hutchinson, why not just see like, all right, let's throw whoever, put a tight end over there, send a double team, get a running back on his side of the ball, like anything you can get to stop Aiden Hutchinson and force DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil and maybe Klotzy. That's where the Aleem McNeil sack comes from.
Hey, hold on. You're going to let Davenport one-on-one?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Would you rather Davenport one-on-one or would you rather Aiden Hutchinson one-on-one?
Yeah,
no. If you're the offensive coordinator,
I'm kidding.
Davenport.
I had you for a second.
I was saying that as like, watch Davenport one-on-one. He might get a sack.
He has. I mean, that's what you brought Marcus Davenport in here to do.
Yeah,
just win one-on-ones, plain and simple.
I don't know who they're. Oh, he would be facing Paris Johnson.
Yeah, because they're gonna just make sure that Hutch is always on the other side. Paris Johnson, second year, but
he's good.
He's a good tackle.
He's really good. So maybe that'll be a tough ask for Davenport. But the middle of this defensive line, something to keep an eye on.
And it's got to be very important too because they're going to get a lot of pressure if they get to Kyler. Tackle Kyler because if he breaks out, there's going to be nobody there because there's so much pressure, and they don't have a spot. Either a run, or a leak out and try to find somebody else down the field. But I mean, outside of Marvin Harrison, Greg Dortch, Michael Wilson, like this could be a very big game for Terrion Arnold too, because if they just have Carlton kind of shadowing, I'm sure there'll be times when Terrion's on Marvin Harrison. I think you should feel kind of confident. I mean, both these guys are rookies. They both played at high levels in their last year in college. Like they're both very good players. So arguably best at their position. So let Terrion go at Marv a couple of times because I think that's a matchup that he needs to get used to again.
I agree.
It's not the Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, or the Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, but let him see how he feels against it because then you got Carlton on Michael Wilson, and that's not going to happen. Michael Wilson ain't getting the ball. It's just not going to happen.
I want to show you guys something here. All right.
There, Boone.
Hey, tell me that man is not locked in and ready to go. Look at this man.
What? Based off what?
Look at he is absolutely dialed in. Hey, my time to shine is today. Welcome me to the NFL. The NFL is going to find out who Jack Campbell is today. Tell me that he's not locked in right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's locked in.
He looks absolutely dialed in.
He's going to have
no smile.
He's going to have a lot to deal with today.
No, he's not. They're going to have a lot to deal with him on the other side of the ball. Hey, I'm confident in that man right there. Look at him. That's a dog if I've seen one. Let me get a bark, Klotzy.
We're not doing that. Can't do that.
But no, I love it.
Barks, ain't no way.
Jack,
shot.
I would have lost respect for you, Klotz.
I thought I had him. I thought I had him.
Yeah, I mean, you see Jack Campbell there getting ready.
He's ready to roll.
Big opportunity for him to take that lead role, especially in the future when Anzalone, he moves on. You're going to need a guy like Jack Campbell. Let's see it on full display today. I see this comment here. Champy says you guys are underestimating Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch. Cards offense is loaded.
Greg Dortch has been hurt all week. I don't even know if he's active, but he was questionable all week. I'm not worried about Greg Dortch.
I'm pretty sure has 2 catches on the season. I only had 1, and it was for like a 4-yard touchdown. Like Michael Wilson, he's a solid NFL player, but then you put him on Carlton Davis, like that's a mismatch for the Cardinals, in my opinion, especially because Carlton Davis, he excels on the longer wide receivers.
Right.
And even Terrion Arnold, I like Terrion's odds against Michael Wilson. Like he's not like a terrible player, but the Lions secondary is better than Michael Wilson.
Man, Aiden Hutchinson is minus 200 for a sack today. That's unbelievable.
Throwing some bones on that, Boone?
I'm not minus 200, but I'm going to go see if I can get on a different thing.
As a leg?
I'm going to go look around. I don't know if you can same game parlay it, but he's minus 200. I'm not worried about those wide receivers, to be honest. The only one I'm worried about is Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. That's it. Mm-hmm. And again, the James Conner thing. I gave you guys a stat the other day. When James Conner is under 70 yards rushing last season, they were 0-6. And so far this year, when he gets held under 70, that's their one loss. So under 70 in the last season and like this year and last year, they're 0-7 holding James Conner under 70 yards. The Cardinals are.
I don't, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't really think there should be any reason to doubt it. I don't see James Conner getting 50 yards in this game. And I'm a James Conner fan. Like I think he is truly one of the better running backs in the NFL. But this defensive line just continues to shut running backs down. And I think when you look at James Conner's situation this week, it's very similar to Kyron Williams' situation week 1. And if even like Tampa Bay, like they don't have the best running back doing Rashad White and Bucky Irving, but Baker Mayfield was their leading rusher.
Yeah.
Right. So when you talk about, okay, now you got another injured offensive line, James Conner, not the most explosive, so there's not going to be that many big gains. He gets yards after contact. That offensive line's hurt. That contact's going to be sooner, so he doesn't get as many yards after contact. So I don't think James Conner, at least on the ground, gets going whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the storyline with running backs who face the Detroit Lions. It's not even like, it's not that you don't believe in the back. It's that you believe in this run defense. Like this run defense has consistently shut guys down.
Yep.
I mean, even dating back to when they faced the Giants and Saquon had like 20 yards. So I would be shocked if James Conner goes out there and has a massive game. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this game's going to be won with Kyler Murray's arm and his legs. And that's why there's a lot of pressure on this defense. Now, you mentioned Terran Arnold. He's playing. He was on the injury report all week.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing today.
Illness, though, right? It wasn't anything
Yep,
like
not feeling good.
wise.
He had that club out last week, but I think that's pretty much done with.
Yeah.
So it's something to keep an eye on. Terran Arnold matching up with Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, how they utilize him and Carlton Davis. This is an opportunity for Terran Arnold to go out there and, to your point, Klotz, see an NFL receiver that is about his age.
Yeah.
And a dude that is top of that class at his position. It's best of best. Excuse me. Arguably one of the best quarters in the draft and the best wide receiver in the draft.
Yep.
Matching up. Now that's must-see TV, fellas. Must-see TV. I think Terran Arnold goes out there and he's going to have some opportunities. Kyler Murray, he's going to get tested every week.
Yeah.
He just is, because he's a rookie and he commits these pass interferences. So he's going to get tested. Terran's going to have an opportunity one of these weeks, like most corners, but specifically Terran, because he's a rookie, he's gonna have an opportunity to take the ball away.
I'm interested to see if he does.
And I have Kyler Murray getting 2 turnovers today. I didn't say who gets those turnovers.
I do.
Could be Terran Arnold this week.
I do think Arizona has 2 turnovers. I think we might see a strip sack, hopefully. I think Hutch, another strip sack. That would be unbelievable. That might be a homer take. I do think there's an interception thrown. I put a bet in about 3 minutes ago on one. I'm not going to tell you guys until we do Booner's bets. I don't know if it's Terrion, but I do think Terrion, like, this is another game. I just think it's a thing with these rookie corners that, like, people have said it too. Like, he has struggled at times, like the pass interference. Has had a couple of them in big moments, but I just think like he's just going to keep getting better and better and better. Like, you just keep improving and keep improving, and especially like as you get week to week, he's going to get a better feel for the game and better feel for where a ball is going to be at. And, those pass interferences, they're going to go away
every time.
Yeah. So it's like he's going to slowly get into it to where he's going to get comfortable like he was in college. And once he kind of gets that comfortable and starts to get that feel again,
slows down for him a little
yes. And it could happen any week. As a rookie, it could happen this week. It could happen in 4 weeks. But as soon as it clicks and it hits him, he's going to turn into an elite corner. And that's where I think, Jeff, maybe it is this week. Maybe he's been going through it a couple weeks. He's had some toughest situations over the last 2 weeks, the losses, the everything with it. And now he's like, all right, now I got to feel for it. First time on the road too.
And
first time.
To kind of go off that real quick, like you have seen the pass interferences with Terrion, but I think what we've seen struggles in former first-round pick Detroit Lions cornerbacks in the top 5 and Jeff Okudah is Terrion Arnold's already shown that he can tackle. Like, he's a sure tackler already. So I think he hasn't been very bad in coverage. Like, I think he's held his own and met expectations. But as far as in the run game, where that's especially with this Detroit Lions defense, or the number 1 run defense in the NFL, you have to be able to tackle as a cornerback. And Terrion, I think, has shined so far doing that. So the growth is just going to be exponential. And I don't know if he's going to turn into an elite corner this week. And I'm not saying that's what you were saying.
No, I just think at some point this year it's going to click.
You'll see like, oh, Terrion, 2 more pass deflections this week.
Yep.
You'll just see slowly growth. And I think by the end of the season and in playoff time, that's where I think it'll really click. And that's the most important time to click.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for him to just improve. And he's going to have plenty of those opportunities. You hope that a guy like Terrion only gets better and better and better by the postseason. I mean, so far this year, he's allowing about 12 yards per reception. So when he's targeted, and he could tackle, though, to Klotzy's point. So he's not giving up these, like, besides the pass interference plays, those are massive plays, but he's not giving up like massive plays. But he is struggling a little bit, but that's what you expect out of a guy like Terrion, who, again, at Alabama, very physical. Now he's adjusting to the NFL. So there is an adjustment period. And today is an opportunity for him to go out there and face a wide receiver core that has Marvin Harrison Jr., but it's compared to who they'll face this year,
Yeah.
pretty favorable. And that's all due respect. But, you're going to go up against the Vikings when they get, TJ Hawkinson back. You're going to go up against the Packers. You're going to go up against the Vikings. You're going to go up against the Texans. So he'll have plenty of those opportunities this year to face some pretty good wide receivers. There's no doubt about it. Now, I did want to bring up another element to this, and I guess to kind of stay on the defense. AG in this defense doesn't believe in a QB spy, which, it's fine. They struggled against running quarterbacks. It's going to be interesting this week. You look at some guys on the back end, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch. One of you guys, I think it was you, Klotz, he brought up Brian Branch, how he's a huge impact player this week because of the role he'll have. I agree with that, especially without Anzalone. He kind of is like a sub linebacker. He's built like that too. I think he's a guy that probably is going to be one of your more important players besides Aiden Hutchinson today to have a dominant day on defense.
Yeah, and I think what probably pisses Aaron Glenn off the most about quarterback spy, act like any defense can just do it. To have a quarterback spy, you have to have a guy that's as athletic or a little bit more athletic than the quarterback that they're going up against. And I'm sorry, the Detroit Lions just do not have that. Maybe they do in Brian Branch, but you don't want to take Brian Branch out of run support, out of pass coverage, because when you have the QB spy, your coverage and you're basically playing with 10 guys out there because you're scared the quarterback's going to make a play, so you just position one guy to stop him. And I just don't think that's how Aaron Glenn, it obviously is not how Aaron Glenn wants to run this defense, but Brian Branch obviously is going to be huge. We talk about Trey McBride, how he's going to match up with him. Talk about James Conner when he leaks out in the flats and catches the ball, bringing him down first tackle. We saw Brian Branch week 1, missed that tackle on Tyler Johnson, missed a couple tackles early on. He responded, but I just don't think that that's a play that he's going to be consistently making, and I think that's a play that he will make this week. And then you just talk about just as an overall game plan, pressure is going to be on Kyler Murray. Brian Branch had an interception last week. In week 1, he had multiple pass deflections where he could have made an interception, so there's no reason that he can't go out and get another one. Brian Branch, great player. I don't see a reason why he won't have a great game, and it'll be a huge difference outside of Aiden Hutchinson this game.
Yeah, I mean, with Anzo out now, I was saying earlier this week, if Anzo's out, Brian Branch to me turns into the heart of that defense, especially he sees that he's going to see everything. He's going to be able to communicate. I'm guessing Jack's still going to have that green dot, but I think Brian Branch ends up being the heart and the
he could be like the first of the football
the
guy.
Captain of this defense today. With no Anzo, it's all right. Who's going to be the guy that's all over the field? To me, that's Brian Branch. I don't care what position he's playing or what it is. It's going to be him. And I'm very confident that Brian Branch has a big game. I think he is going to be the biggest defensive player on this team tonight. I'm just interested to see how they fill all these roles. How are they going to move the linebackers around? What's going to happen there? Who's going to step in? Jack steps to Anzo's spot. Who steps into Jack's spot? How are they going to do all of that? So that's going to be interesting to me, because remember when we were having this conversation before and all those guys were on the injury list, we were like, all right, typically, let's say, who was it that was supposed to potentially be out? There was a safety, I think, or
last week, or which week were you talking about?
This week, I think Terrion. Oh, because Terrion was sick all week.
Yeah,
so we had that conversation. If Terrion wasn't able to go, all right, just Branch go to nickel. You move a Meek over. What are you going to do there? Now it's all right, Anzo's out. You got to move a couple guys around. Hey, Brian Branch, you're back there. Maybe another interception for the man today.
I mean,
he's going to be everywhere today.
Yeah. I see this comment, JB Smooth.
Oh, shout out JB, man.
He chimed in on offense, but with Allen Robertson and Tim Patrick being elevated to the main rosters, who's out at receiver? Or are they just giving Goff more options? Well, no Isaiah Williams.
Yeah, that's how it's been all year though.
So you elevate Tim Patrick and Allen Robinson,
both active today too.
Tim Patrick, I think, is expected to get.
Yeah,
obviously some snaps here. Got some snaps last week. Allen Robinson's got an interesting one now. Don't let him get loose.
Hey,
Detroit
native.
What
this tells me though, they're gonna run the ball because they want the big guys on the outside to be able to block. Tim Patrick, great blocker. I think they're gonna get the Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra going, obviously. But this is a game where Ben Johnson, I think. There's going to be a couple plays where I just think he gets disrespectful just because he heard all the noise. He's just going to get in his bag this week, and I think the Lions' offense is just going to show out. So when you talk about bringing Allen Robinson up, bringing in Tim Patrick, I think that's where it's okay, let's get these guys some snaps where they can get acclimated to this offense a little bit more, because when we're playing with the lead, we're going to be running the ball. Just get the chemistry going on 3rd and 3, whatever. Throw them the ball. But elevating both those guys, I know you're like, oh, 2 receivers getting elevated, they're going to throw the ball. They're not going to be throwing the ball like they were last week. They're going to be committed to running the ball. And I think Allen Robinson, Tim Patrick, both great blockers on the outside. So They're going to be running it this week.
Tim Patrick is a big ass man. I will
6'4"?
say, yeah, he's huge.
Throw that ball to him down
Run.
on the block.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Barbecue chicken. Easy bucket.
I think with Tim Patrick too, though, like I think he ends up getting into a big time role on this team.
What do you mean? Define big time.
Snap wise, snap count,
Okay.
snap count. Come on, Klotz.
Well,
Klotz, don't start. You did this to me the other day.
No,
don't start
because
putting words in my mouth. We're not doing that today. This
No,
is supposed to be a positive day. Bounce back day.
This is why I asked. I didn't want.
Just say, hey, Booner, that's on me. Say, hey, I'm me.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to get clarification. I don't want to put words.
Big role. He is going to start getting a lot more snaps.
Okay.
He is going to get a little more targets. He had, I think, what did he have last week? I can pull it up. I think he had 3 or 4 targets. I think he had a handful of targets last week. So you start giving him some you know what it is, Klotzy? It's the thing that I talked about with Sam Laporta. It's when you don't go at Sam Laporta, the defense doesn't worry about Sam Laporta. It's the same thing with Tim Patrick. If you don't go at Tim Patrick, the defense isn't going to worry about Tim Patrick. So if you start giving some guys some targets, the defense has to notice them. And the defense, like when you're game planning, when the DC's game planning for the next week and the next week and the next, you have to go, oh, watch out, Tim Pat. We got to cover him. Because if you're never throwing to him, all right, screw that guy. I'm not covering him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's fair.
So now I think Tim Patrick gets some more snaps and he gets a couple looks throughout the weeks. And I think I don't know when the timeline is to where it's like you have to get him on the active roster. He can't be on the practice squad anymore. They will find a spot for Tim Patrick to be on the active roster. He will not go a week anymore. He might be on the practice squad just because of the elevation, and he will play in every game this year outside if an injury happens.
You know what I noticed though with the elevation of Allen Robinson and Tim Patrick? You know who else is on that practice squad? It's a pretty good run blocker.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
DPJ. They said stay down there. You could
Brought
keep
the
it.
vets up.
Yeah,
They're shaking off. Allen Robinson shaking off the rust.
I don't know if that's significant or not, but they could have activated. They could have elevated Tim Patrick and DPJ. But they said, no, we're going to go with the new guy that we like.
I'm the only
Allen Robinson.
With Allen Robinson, played with the Rams. Rams in the same division as the Cardinals, played them twice a year. So maybe there's something with that. I don't know. But I think Allen Robinson and DPJ at this point are pretty equal. And Allen Robinson's knows a little bit more about the game than him at this point, being a veteran. So
I'm interested in the Allen Robinson stuff. I am interested in that.
Detroit kid.
Because to JB's point there, and I saw this a lot on Twitter. We posted it on Twitter. A lot of the comments were, "What's going on with Amon-Ra? What's going on with JMO?" Like people asking, like, why did they elevate 2 guys instead of just Tim Patrick? And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's a fair point. But like, oh, you're not going to be able to get all the snaps, but maybe they just want to get a look at Allen Robinson and say, like, hey, how is it? Like, he's been looking good in practice. This means a little bit. And I hate to do this. I'm not that guy, Jeff. I might be, Klotzy. I hate to do this. Allen Robinson and Tim Patrick are playing in a Lions uniform this season before Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I just brought that up.
I know. I have to like. It's
you
gotta
get the lapping.
It's nuts.
Take
man.
a jog. Take a jog.
I know it is.
I had to bring that up. I had to, on my end. I apologize.
No,
good PR, Boone.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's nuts, man.
Hey, let's put up this image here. Freddie Felt.
Freddie Felt.
313. Shout out to him. Sent us this image of his friend in Arizona.
I believe I texted him back to see if it was his friends in Arizona.
Look at the Lions fans.
They're showing out.
Absolutely flooding this place.
There was another picture he sent that had a Reggie Bush jersey in there. And I saw that. Yeah, I was like, what? That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
how about that?
That was a hell of. Remember his first preseason snap ever?
Hurdle
dude.
I love Reggie Bush.
Hey, he was
he was the first running back for in 10 years to get 1,000 yards for the Lions. That was unbelievable.
I'm going to pull up the Reggie Bush photo so you guys can see it.
It looks like there's confetti in this photo too. Like Lions fans are getting after it
celebrating
today.
a win before it even started here.
They're getting after it today, man.
All right, but here, there you go. You see the people flooding this place. This is in Arizona, by the way. This is not in Detroit.
I did text to confirm that. I got to double check. Yeah, he said my boy from Rochester Hills. He lives in Phoenix now. So yeah, there we go. We've got it.
Wow, I can't believe that, man. I love that. I know the Cardinals market.
Did you have the Reggie one? Did you put the Reggie one up?
I could put it up. Yeah, it's kind of weird quality because I'm adjusting here, but it's all right. I'll put it up anyway.
Hey,
right.
Let's be dogs, huh?
All right. This guy just dogs me around, don't he? All right, let's put this up here. Ready? Check this out. Reggie Bush.
Hey, shout out Reggie Bush, man. Frank Ragnow jersey. How often do you see a Frank Ragnow jersey?
Yeah,
around
this
here, Boone, pretty often.
Yeah, I guess
St.
so.
Brown,
yeah.
Reggie Bush. I mean, this is like this
Wake
bar
up.
is
That's
this bar has to be 80% Lions fans. I mean,
Yeah,
this is,
that's unbelievable.
That is wild.
I would love to. A road game would be
Have you
unbelievable.
guys even seen an Arizona Cardinals fan before?
No, never. Don't know if they exist. Probably
Not
don't.
not post Larry Fitzgerald retirement. No.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you were to see one, it'd definitely be like you're not seeing Kyler jerseys anywhere.
Who would
maybe-
buy a
no.
Kyler Murray?
Hey,
jersey?
Marv couldn't even get his jersey out there with Fanatics. There's a whole issue with that.
Well, that was just on him. That was on Marv, though.
I'm not saying it's not.
Smart
I'm
on
saying
his point because,
jersey-
and
There
this
might
is like
be
a little conspiracy.
tinfoil hat. I've never seen a Cardinals fan in my life.
Me either. I've never talked to one before either. This
I
guy
guess
in here, I think he's a
we
fake
had
Cardinals fan.
Kyler on this week, but he might have just been like somebody that knows about the team, follows them. But
Well, he covers the team, so he just gets paid to
what
be a
I'm saying.
fan. Yeah.
he might not actually be
The
a
only
big
ones
fan.
that actually are fans, they get paid to do it. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, they get paid.
That's
to
a
be
tough
fans.
look.
Fuck, I got to be a Cardinals reporter.
I mean, think of it. Let's think of the Lions fans like 4 years ago, though. I mean, we were in that.
we
same
were
boat.
there though.
We
Yeah,
were,
but
we
we're
were
loyal.
there, but
Loyal.
it was rough. It was
I
rough.
have seen Kurt Warner jerseys. I will say that.
Could be Rams fan though. Never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's
You're
fair.
Right. You're right.
It's very fair. All right, fellas. It's almost 3:30 here. I mean, if you want, is there anything else you guys would like to bring up before we, get into other parts of this game itself? Any matchups that you're
actually-
interested in seeing?
Not even matchups.
Or
I said it on
storylines?
Friday. The one thing that I'm like and I'm gonna have a close eye on it throughout the whole game is this Dan Campbell thing. Like I'm sorry, you guys know Dan Campbell is my guy.
Yeah.
He is
we
my
know.
white whale. I've been wanting to drink beers with Dan Campbell. I said everything about Dan Campbell. Like Dan Campbell knows who I am. I know who Booner is. The guy that cracks beers for a living. I like that guy. He said that. That came out of his mouth, not mine. But last week was tough from Dan Campbell. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. And if I had a bad day on the job here, I'm sure Dan Campbell, if he saw it, he would call it out. If I did a bad beer smash and a bad Kool-Aid chug after a game, I bet you Dan Campbell, he would call it out. So I'm going to say last week was bad by him. The decisions that he was making, the whole end of the first half, throwing the field goal unit out there, and he knew he made the mistake,
Yep.
and he took accountability. Oh, my gosh, Klotzy. That went everywhere. He took accountability for it. He stepped up as a leader, and I love that about him. But again, those were mistakes. And as much as some people want to be a slappy and all this, those were mistakes 2 years ago before you started going on these runs that hurt you. Like, you lost games. You started the season 1-6 because he was making some of those mistakes. The exact mistake that we saw last week. Do you guys remember the Minnesota game 2 years ago as well? I can't remember. It was like he just had a horrible time management, didn't make the right call, and it ended up costing a full football game. And that was what happened essentially last week. Like, yeah, you could say the red zone. You could call it the red zone, the 1 for 7. Yeah, that's one thing. But another thing was the Dan Campbell. So I'm looking this week for him to bounce back, make the right decisions as a leader of this football team, as the head coach of this team. Like, bounce back. Don't lose a game because of you again this year. Like, that can't happen. And I believe, you know what? I believe we'll never lose a game this season because of Dan Campbell. Like, I think it just takes one for him to be like, check himself in. It's the beginning of the season, and he's checked in now, and he's like, okay, that was on me. Won't happen again. I'm going to be sharp the rest of the year. But I'm interested to see how he bounces back from that today. Like, is he going to make another bonehead mistake like that? Hopefully not. I don't think he will, but I do think he bounces back.
Just get out of your own way, man. Like,
That's all it is.
You don't have to bring out the field goal unit. Just let Jared Goff spike the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just got in his own way.
That's
It's
all
a
it
simple
was.
mistake. Yeah, you're overthinking it. Let Jared spike the ball, roll out Jake Bates, and kick a bomb. Get out of there with 3.
Not even a bomb. Been like a 40-yard kick, damn near.
Yeah,
It
Which-
would have been a
which-
great kick, and you're like
at least get an
The game,
opportunity
you
to
win
get
the game
points.
because when you need a touchdown on that last possession, you only needed
a
3.
field
Even
goal.
if he
2
missed-
possessions too, because you get it back to back.
Even if he missed it, you gave him an opportunity to,
Yeah.
to kick. I mean, it's not even. It's just they didn't even get that
And
opportunity. But
Again, they know. Like, they know.
yeah,
And he knows it too. And that's why I think all week he was so hard on himself. Even if you watch press conferences all week long, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever he was up, you could tell that he was so dialed in because he had the mistakes and like to let a game slip away. I watched a post-game speech that he had in the locker room last year after a win and bouncing back from a loss, and like just the passion that he has just to bounce back from a loss. Like, remember, this Lions team in the last 8 have won coming off of a loss.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the most motivated teams when they lose than you can ever see. Like, it's unbelievable. And another thing too, last thing I have with this last segment here that I want to with you fellas, Ben Johnson. I hope that red zone's fixed today. That's all I'm saying.
What I was about to say.
That red zone better be fixed. You better find a way to get the job done, because if there's another 1-7 game
Against this defense, there's no excuse.
it's a problem.
I don't care about on the road either, because let's not act like Glendale's a place where football fans are just going crazy at. Like, the last thing people are thinking about in Arizona right now are the Cardinals. So this is probably one of those games where 40% of the stadium's in Honolulu blue. So there's no excuse for Ben Johnson this week, in my opinion. I think he will perform. I think we all know that he's a very fine, very elite coordinator that's going to be a head coach soon in this league. But this is one of those weeks where if he wants to continue that status, you got to bounce back and not just like, hey, Lions are here, the offense is back. Like, no, you got to make a statement this week, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see like 3 for 4 in the red zone.
Let's get to 30 points, huh?
I love that.
Hey, let's get to 30.
What's the Lions team total at? I want to check.
Get to 30 on the road.
Maybe we look at a little Lions team total action, huh, Klotzy?
Even if it's like a 37-34 Lions win game,
I don't care.
Let's get to over 30. Let's go.
I mean, I would hate to see this Cardinals offense.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to be honest. But at least their offense better score 30 this week. I think they're capable.
We'll be feeling better than Buccaneers fans right now, though. I understand that the Lions lost to them, but they look rough. And that was
up-down theory.
Then we were just saying like how the
loves the up-down theory.
How the Buccaneers are struggling right now. That last week with the Lions, that could have been like their struggle game of the year, just because like Booner was just talking about 1 for 7 in the red zone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're 1 for 7,
if that's
imagine
your
if they
struggle
just
game,
convert
that's
that two more times. You get 2 touchdowns. You go 3 for 7, which is still not good.
Dude, you go 2 for 7, you win the game.
Yeah, but not even win the game, but like what they would have looked like offensively with the points on the board. You're looking at a 30-point game. So it's just one of those things where,
hey, that up-down theory, Lions down, Cardinals up. Cardinals down this week, Lions up.
Hey.
Very simple math. Might be a blow-up. Who knows?
He just casually throws that in there.
Yeah, I don't honestly.
Lions cover.
Oh, that was
Lions.
What is the spread right now, Boone? Did it change?
I think it's been 3.
US it was 3.
Yeah,
the Lions
it's still sitting at 3, so it hasn't moved at all. The crazy
thing
is,
it should be a touchdown, but the Cardinals are at home. Probably they're giving them.
It would probably be like 5 points if it was in Ford Field.
You think so?
I'd say it'd be like 5.5. It's at Ford Field.
Dude, the Bucks were 7,
which is even crazier because the Bucks to me are a playoff team.
That's what I'm saying.
Cardinals aren't.
Cardinals might have been like
so it's
8-9.
Yeah, so it's just the Cardinals. The thing with that, they just think the Lions are playing so bad right now. Guys.
It's like he's stressing himself up.
I'm not worried. This is going to be. I almost want to take the Lions team total.
Brother. Calm down.
The people need to calm down. You know what? I'm allowed to tell that to the people too. I don't think that's a crazy thing.
Yeah, stop telling people
it's
to
just narcissistic of you. But
I don't even know what narcissism means. I'm just kidding. I looked it up the other day. Learned
he's like, what did he just call me?
I had to make sure I was on the same spot as Doc.
He's like, am I a narcissist? He's like, Google.
He's like, damn, Doc cooked. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe Doc was right. Yeah,
no, not
self-evaluation. You come back better.
I'm not going to actually say that. I love the Doc. Not going to say it. I'm going to take a step back.
Don't even do
I love
it.
the Doc. He's probably watching right now. Doc, I love you, man.
Hey, Doc, stop drinking that piss water. Drink some of this
real American beer, baby.
Came out with that Miller Lite. Get out.
Come on, brother.
Stop it, Doc. You know better than that. Don't come on the program without real American beer. All right.
He's got some. He took a picture.
Yeah, he did. He got right. Appreciate it.
We
can't. He's paying for it, though. We got to get him some real American beer.
We'll send him some real American beer.
Let's see. Michael says, Booner, any bets you like for today? People asking about the bets.
I've got bet. Are we doing it now?
Yeah, why not? Let the people just enjoy.
Give them what they want.
You guys, hold on.
Let the bets settle so
quick.
they can just, as time goes on, they feel more confident.
Let me lock in my last bet here. You guys talk about the red zone for 2 more minutes, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the red zone, Jeff. That's where Sam Laporta really needs to step up.
I think he scores today, Sam Laporta.
I do think.
I might even sprinkle a little bit on that Sam Laporta anytime. I'm not even. I just sprinkle a little bit on that.
All right, I didn't say talk about bets. I said talk about
the red zone. What we want to talk about here.
You're ruining my bets here.
No, we're not ruining it. You should have these bets locked in.
I do have them locked in. I want to write them down so I can go in a good order for the people. I want to make sure I'm.
Hey, James says do it live. I mean, you should be narrating this live.
All right, I'll talk to the people here.
I'll
talk to the people.
Are you a pro?
We have 3 different plays. Not 3 plays. We have straight plays. Booner straight plays. I'm going to start hitting you a little bit.
The straight
I have my straight plays today, which there are a lot. I usually only stick it to about 3 or 4. I might have 5 or 6. That's what I was going to go write down so I could see if I had too many. I wanted to make sure I didn't have too many.
Very fair.
But I'll just say them all out loud just so you guys know what I have locked in my sports book. So you guys are like, oh, does Booner actually bet? Does he lose money? No, I don't. We win money. Straight plays. I have my legacy player of the day, which you guys probably have an idea of who that is. And then I have Booner's lay of the day, which I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you where to put your money, but I will say this.
Line every week.
This is a lock. Booner's lay of the day today.
Wow.
No, I'm being dead serious.
I'm locking in.
Okay,
right now.
just want you to know. All right, let's start off with the straight plays here. First one I have defensive play, guys.
All right.
I have 2 defensive plays today.
Oh,
The first one, I said, if you guys listen to our show, our pregame show, I think that these offensive lines with the backup right tackle, they're going to try and find a way to double team Aiden Hutchinson. They're going to send tight ends over there, extra tight ends,
Chip him
an
a little
extra
bit.
running back, chipping him. They're going to do everything they can to stop Aiden Hutchinson.
All right.
Guess who that opens it up the door for? Defensive tackle, Aleem McNeil.
Big Mac.
I don't even need a full sack out of him. All we need, and I have already locked this in, Aiden Hutchinson or Aleem McNeil over 0.25 sacks. He needs a half a sack.
Oh, he needs
A
half.
half
Yeah, he
a
can
sack.
do that.
And
He
guess
can
what
do
that is? It's plus 270.
What?
It's plus 270
For
for
half
Aleem
a
McNeil
sack?
to at least get a half a sack. So all he needs to do is just be involved in a sack. Just be around
Have an arm.
Kyler
Have
Murray.
an arm.
Just a little a touch.
Do
Just
it.
touch
Hey,
him.
we call it the Levi.
The-
Just do the Levi.
Just
out.
get the Levi O.
Disrespectful.
That's all we
I'm
need.
just saying.
And this is from the Levi.
That's all we
disrespect
need.
there.
That's the Levi.
Oh,
Oh,
All
didn't
right.
like that over
All
there.
right.
Didn't like that.
Second defensive play. Are you guys ready for this one?
I'm ready.
There's one guy who is the biggest ball hawk in the entire NFL right now.
Do some call him Kirby Joseph?
He is the best ball hawk in the NFL. This man gets 4 interceptions a season. He already has, how many does he have? 1 this year. Kirby Joseph, guys, plus 490. Kyler Murray, they're going to be losing. Kyler Murray's going to be throwing it up in the middle of the field. He's going to be tossing it up for Marvin Harrison Jr. And I bet you one time, Kirby Joseph is going to come over top, and he's not going to see him, and he's going to snag it. Plus 490 for an interception today. Make sure you guys lock that in right now. Next one I have. Detroit Lions -3, fellas. I gave it to you guys. I gave it to you guys on Friday.
Baby.
I handed it out on Friday. I'm not gonna bet.
Red, I love it.
-3. I think the Lions, and I got the idea, and shout out to the legend, Jim Costa. I didn't want to do Lions -3, but he put some stats out there that sat me down, and I went, man, this guy's not wrong.
Yep.
This is good. And sometimes as a gambler, you have to look at a guy like Jim Costa, or sometimes you might look at some Booner bets and be like, respect. Give me Detroit Lions -3. I already put that number in. I love it. Next one I have, straight play. 2 touchdown scores.
Oh, who could it be?
2-piece.
First one.
Number 1.
I'm imaging in my head again a touchdown dance at about 5:45 from Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He gave a time.
Plus 120.
He said 5:45.
So
5:45.
145 Cardinals fans on the West Coast.
5:40, whatever it is on the West Coast, but 5:45 Eastern Michigan or Eastern time.
I don't think
zone.
you ever given a time.
No,
before.
between 5:45 and 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Between that 15-minute mark, Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown plus 120.
Get your
The other one
watches
I have
set.
is David Montgomery. Guys, feels disrespectful. -110. Basically a pick 'em. Basically even money.
Yeah.
For David Montgomery to score a touchdown. I don't see why you don't take that. Next one I have here, Klotzy. I put this in because of you. You sent me a play earlier today, and one of these were in it. Jahmyr Gibbs, over 79.5 all-purpose yards.
Easy work.
I don't know how that
have
doesn't
that in the
hit.
first half.
Don't know how that doesn't hit.
Yeah, that is easy.
Don't know how that doesn't hit.
That is easy.
Next one, JMO. Lions low again, guys. I'm just going to say it how it is. I know
What's it at?
earlier this week I took the under when we did our bets, and then I woke up this morning and I go, I fell asleep last night and I was dreaming, and I had a dream, and it just kept it just kept going over and over and over again.
What was it?
It was just J-Mo catching a 60-yard bomb.
I swear.
And it just kept happening. And
I'm Starling
I
Thomas the fifth.
Yeah, and I woke up and just like sweating and going, I have to place that bet today. I have to place that bet today.
That was like out of your control. Like that was something bigger than you.
Yeah.
Telling
I was like,
it was from a higher power.
the
the
people.
Booner football god is
Yeah.
what it was.
For the
you gotta
people.
take that move.
For the people, I had to do it.
Yeah.
Next one. All right.
That's fair.
Those are all my straight plays. All right. Those are my straight plays.
I love that.
Those are my straight plays.
Booner layer of
So
the
the
day.
straight plays were Detroit Lions -3,
Hit.
Ali McNeil half a sack plus
Hit.
270,
Levi, hit.
Kirby Joseph
Levi O.
plus 490 interception, David Montgomery anytime touchdown, Amon-Ra anytime touchdown, Gibbs over 79.5 all purpose, J-Mo over 50.5 receiving yards. Legacy player of the game,
Nope.
Detroit Lions tight end Sam Laporta.
Boom!
Give me
Yeah,
Sam
I saw it
Laporta.
coming. What a
Like,
dog.
Give me Sam Laporta
Love
over
it.
46.5 total yards.
Disrespectful line.
That is going to be easy for him today. And a Sam Laporta, he gets his first touchdown of the season, plus 150.
Should be.
I
free.
love it. I guys,
free money.
who is
That's what that
I
is.
don't remember who my legacy player was last week.
Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra. Guess what he did?
10 catches,
Balled out.
100 yards.
120, 115 yards.
What was your who was it the first game?
J-Mo,
What happened?
2-0 so far. And now my third one. Last year I was 14-3 on legacy players. This week we're doing it again. Sam Laporta, absolute big game. He is going to be dominant. I love Sam Laporta, my legacy player of the game. Now, are you guys ready for this?
Sure, Boone.
Give me the parlay, Boone.
Booner's lay of the day. Plus 785.
Wow. That is
Unboosted.
Plus 785.
Unboosted.
Plus 785.
You know what? I'm entering this right now as we're talking.
First leg.
I'm already
Leg
sold.
number
I already
one.
gave this one out as a straight play.
You should have sent me a screenshot of this. I could put it on the screen.
It's a David Montgomery touchdown.
Anytime.
Yep,
Anytime
like it.
touchdown.
D-Mon
That's
TD.
one.
That's one.
We got five legs.
One.
Second leg, the Sun God.
Amon-Ra.
60
That's
yards alternative. 60 yards. That's all he needs.
All right.
60 yards. That's easy. Amon-Ra St. Brown will get 60 yards in his sleep. Third leg,
What's 3?
David Montgomery. 40 total rushing yards.
All right.
That's easy.
That's a
Good
lock.
work.
That's a lock. Fourth leg, Jahmyr Gibbs. 40 total rushing yards.
That's easy work.
80 total rushing yards by the two of them. That's it. That's all we need. And the last one, Jamison Williams, 25 total yards. I mean, guys, this is the easiest bet of all time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Send
JMO
that in the group chat,
25,
Boone.
Gibbs 40, Demont 40, Amon-Ra 60, and a Demont touchdown. Someone in this chat right now, if you're watching, I would love to you tell me where this loses.
Let Booner
Please tell me where
let
this
Booner
loses.
help your pockets out real quick.
So you got Dave Montgomery TD
Please
score.
tell me.
Amon-Ra St. Brown 60.
And you know, these people in the chat saying, Booner, you can't say Montgomery correctly. I don't care. I love David Montgomery. He loves
Hit
me.
him with a mount.
Montgomery, baby.
The mount. I love the mount.
I don't even. Yeah, I could try and
You
say it a
don't
million
notice.
times. It's not going to happen. But that's the five legs. Demont, Amon-Ra 60, Demont 40, Jahmyr 40, and JMO 25. Guys, I don't see where it loses. I don't see where it loses. I'll send it to you guys. I won't send it to the chat because I don't know how to do that, but I'll send it to you guys in our group chat. So you guys have that. I just sent it. But I love that. And I love the straight plays. I think today, guys, and I was talking to Jeff about this earlier today. The weird thing, like with the bets, was last year we were rolling. But I do remember the first couple of weeks, it takes a little bit because you have to get a feel for the game. And obviously the Lions, all around the NFL, everything's been different. Like you have not seen a normal football game in the NFL this year. You haven't. So like trying to figure out these bets, now that we're starting to get a feel for how teams are playing, I think the Lions start to bounce back a little bit more. And I think today is a day to where we can really make some money on the Detroit Lions. I'm confident.
I agree.
Confident.
I am confident in it.
I love it. And for people in the chat, just to give a recap on, you can find it in any place. It is Dave Montgomery TD, Amon-Ra St. Brown 60 yards, Jahmyr and David 40 yards rushing, and Jamison 25 yards.
Yep. With
a boost, depending on what sportsbook you use.
Yeah, go
about plus 800.
If you haven't used it yet, go get a boost on a sports book. I make sure for every Lions game, I go to the ones that I need to, and I go get a boost.
Get your boost.
So go boost it. Whatever. I don't know what it would be at now.
It's crazy. I just looked on, I don't know, on every app, but the apps I'm looking at, Sam Laporta has better odds to hit 25 yards than JMO. Like Jamo's like minus 400 to hit 25 yards, and Sam is minus like 300. So Jamo's more of minus 400 to have 25 yards. Sam Laporta's minus 300.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Like
should have done
25
Laporta.
yards.
Maybe I should have done Laporta.
Like, why is
Either way,
he?
man.
Why?
Because
It doesn't make-
it's because Jamo, it's one catch.
oh,
That's
a
it.
good
It's
point.
literally just one catch. With
Yeah, that's a good-
Laporta, he could
he's
get
gonna
3
get
catches
3.
and have like 18
Yeah,
still
no,
somehow.
you're right.
But I just
You're
think
right.
it's like they're going to take a couple shots
The
with Jamo.
yak.
Yeah, and Jamo has yak too, though. Like that's the thing. Like Jamo.
Bro's
No.
got that yak.
All right, hey, great bet, Spoon. Great job.
Yeah, you cooked there, but I'm not even gonna lie. It might be your best bet. slip
Yeah,
I
you
think
might go
you
undefeated.
cooked with.
You
I
might go
love it.
undefeated.
I would love to. The Lee McNeil one, I would love for that to hit. Like, I would. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'll tell you what, boys. You want to? We'll give our kind of our breakdowns of the game, how we see it going down, what our final score is, and what else we're looking for specifically in this game. Because I think for me, and I mentioned it, offensively, this team finding its identity again.
Yeah.
The run game, 40 yards for each running back, specifically for the parlay, but more than that, to show that this run game is dominant. To show the NFL, they got the best backfield in the league. Jared Goff, I specifically, all I asked for, and I'll be saying this during the watch party, under 30 pass attempts. Let's get those pass attempts down, huh? Be efficient. Let's move the ball with ease. No turnovers. I just want to see this offense be damn near perfect after the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
And more than that, Aiden Hutchinson to continue his Defensive Player of the Year chase, because so far he's been doing it. This week he'll have another opportunity to do it. He's got to wreck this game. That defensive line has to be big, contain. Kyler Murray has game-breaking speed, and ability. So we'll find out a lot about this game, guys. I think the Lions pull it out. I think they're motivated. They're going to play better on the road, given how they played the last 2 weeks at home. I have the Lions winning this week. 30, what I have, just to double check here. I think I had 31-21. Yep, 31-21 Lions win. They clear 30 points. And this game they start distancing themselves in the fourth quarter. I think it's a pretty close game for 3, but then the Lions get away from them. Win by 10 points. Get out of there with a win.
That sounds nice. It sounds like it should be. I think the Lions, offensively, I think it's going to be a solid showing from the Cardinals. I don't think they're going to be able to neutralize the Cardinals, because the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, I think he's going to create some plays, but they're not going to get James Conner going. I think Marvin Harrison makes some plays, but offensively, I think the Cardinals are only going to score like 17 points. 17. Maybe I might give them 24, but for my prediction, I'm going to go 17. And Detroit Lions offense, I think that's a different story. I think they're going to score at will. I think they're going to stay committed to running the ball. I hope to God they do it returning out of halftime, because after the third quarter, Ben Johnson likes to get away from the identity, and then he's like, oh, shit, fourth quarter, get back to our identity. Just come out of halftime running the ball, because if you do that, that opens everything up. I think the Lions will score 30+. I'm going to go Lions 34. I'm going to give the Cardinals the benefit of the doubt. Late touchdown. I'll go Cardinals 24. 10-point game, but the Lions offense absolutely flourishes.
Backtrack a little bit. Me and you were on the same page on Friday.
Okay.
What made you change?
Different day.
You had a
He said different day.
you had a 14
I woke up in the
win.
morning.
You had 37-20.
Fine.
20, what was it?
I had
24?
34-20. No, I had 34-20.
That was what I had, 34-20.
You know what? Then I had 38, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right. So will it make you happy if I go away?
Hey, me and you, I love, I'll tell you this. I love syncing up here a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we have the same mindset when it comes to, sometimes you're like, no, this is my thing. This is a good thing for us to be, hey, we're on the same page with, brother.
So what are we doing here?
I want 38-24.
38-24. Detroit Lions win.
Thank you. All right. I love that. All right. This is what's going to happen,
Thank
Booner.
you.
I have the script here. I'm going to throw my glasses on. I love wearing these glasses. They still have beer on them from the last the beer chug and Kool-Aid chug
that
from
was a
week
good
one.
Boone.
So they still have beer on them.
Do
Real
well.
American beers all over them. Listen, I think, and I know, the Detroit Lions and Ben Johnson are going to establish the run today.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell defensively is going to step up. Brian Branch is going to have a big game. Kirby's going to get a turnover. Aiden Hutchinson's going to have another sack. Aleem's going to get in there and make a play. Davenport's going to make a play. Terrion Arnold's going to step up. Offensively, everyone gets a play. Offensively, you're going to see everyone on this team touch the ball and get plays. You know what? Maybe I bet on a Tim Patrick touchdown too at some point, because everyone's going to get a play today. Listen, the Detroit Lions are going to go out there and win 34-20. They're going to dominate. tomorrow we're going to have a show tomorrow night, and what we're going to talk about is the Detroit Lions are back. They're a top 3 team in the NFL still. People were disrespectful. You guys were laughing. People were laughing at me for having them 3. We actually all had them 3 still. People were laughing at us. This is still a Super Bowl team. This is a contending team, one of the best teams in all of football. Detroit Lions 34. Arizona Cardinals 20. I want to throw this up there too. I want to play this. Look at the boys, guys. Look at the fellas. Look at the fellas. How about that? Look at that. Look at those guys out there. The all whites, the marshmallows.
The whites, man, they look good.
Look at that.
I like the
Look
all
at
whites.
that. You see Allen Robinson?
Yeah.
Look at these guys. Look at them. Look at Craig.
Craig.
Look at J-Mo. Waymo. Craig again.
Yeah,
Derek Barr,
just seeing the
Gibbs.
crowd, how it looks now, half that place will be.
Oh, you already see it right here.
There's already.
Look at all that blue in the background there already.
If you even have a quarter of that place blue,
Look
that's a
at that
win.
blue already.
Like,
Look at them out there running out. This is unbelievable. I love this football team, man. This is going to be a big game.
You know what's crazy? I mean, I went to when I used to go to every year the Thanksgiving game. Every year, man, there'd be half the stadium would be the opposing team's fans at Ford Field. Now you'll never see that. Like I remember I went to not the Thanksgiving game, but they played the Dolphins like 2 years ago. Was that 2 years ago? They played the Dolphins. At home.
The Bills were 2 years ago. Dolphins were the
No, not on Thanksgiving, but it was a random regular season game. They lost. Remember
The Dolphins
they were
2 years ago.
They were up
Yeah.
28, 20 something to 17.
I was at the
it.
brass rail with Stick. I was at the brass rail and we were watching the whole game.
I went to that game. I'm telling you, about 50% of the fans were Dolphins fans.
And
so it's great to see this now with all these fans at the Cardinals. At what is it? State Farm Stadium.
State Farm Arena or Stadium. Yeah, look at this, dude. There's the Lions fan. Look at them. They show up, they show out. That's unbelievable, guys. And there's like rows of them back there too. It's unbelievable what Lions fans are amazing. Best fans in sports, America's football team, everything about the Detroit Lions, man. I don't know. And I did drop in here. I told people to put their score predictions in any mailbag. So if you guys have some here, let me go back. I'm trying to go back here for us. I'm going back. How far back do I have to go? Maybe I went too far. I might have gone too far.
So I put Booner's parlay in the chat, typed it out. So people that
Can I drop a early mailbag question real quick, fellas?
Yeah, I'm looking for some here.
Are the Vikings legit?
You know what?
they're a good team.
They're not as bad as people thought.
I think they're a playoff team for sure.
Yeah, that
not
defense,
more. I don't think they're any more than that though. They'll probably drop in the playoffs or something.
The Bears are out.
Yeah,
the Bears are completely out. I already said I thought it was hilarious that the Bears were plus money to not make the playoffs. Like you could have went
or plus 2 make or plus
they were
money
like
to not make
minus
the play.
150,
Gotcha.
minus 200 to make the playoffs at the beginning of the year. And I was like, everyone go take the Bears like plus 200 to not make the playoffs. And they're the worst team in the division by far. And it's not even close, I don't think. So I think the Vikings are either the second or third. Klotz, I'm kind of with you.
I think we are seeing I think Kevin O'Connell has to be right now number 1 for coach of the year, at least early on.
Yeah.
But even Brian Flores and their defense, in my opinion, is what is more impressive because you already knew that their offense was loaded. But their defense, they don't have a bunch of Jags running around there, but they don't have like a Aiden Hutchinson or a Brian Branch. Like Alex Van Ginkel's leading that defense right now, and it's just crazy because it's just very solid play at all 3 phases. And situationally, they've just been creating plays. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. Like when the Lions go into Minnesota, I think that's a game that a lot of Lions fans looked at going into the season. I would say myself even included, where it's like, yeah, Sam Darnold might put up a lot of yards, but the Lions are walking away with a W because they're going to shred that defense. I think going into Minnesota this year and even hosting Minnesota, that's going to be a very difficult game for this Lions team because, yeah, they improved the secondary, but Justin Jefferson, they don't even have TJ Hawkinson or Jordan Addison playing today. So that's going to add those 2 back. Aaron Jones looks like he's finding his groove. That offensive line is going to get more chemistry. Defense is going to get better. So Minnesota, shit, it's a good team. It's a good team.
We do have a handful of things here. I want to. Should we go over these guys? There's some mailbag questions.
Go ahead.
Michael Lucci said, in some score predictions.
Sorry, I'm tailing the Booner parlay.
Hey,
I'm just making sure we get.
Don't change any of it.
I did it.
Okay,
I did it.
You did that last year, and we really killed us.
No, I'm with you.
All right, so Michael Lucci, he said, and shout out him too. He's an absolute legend. 24-23 Lions, 1-point win. Jake Bates 50-yarder to win it.
I wouldn't even care.
I just want a W.
Yeah, it just win.
If they win, I would say this though. At the end, my heart would be beating. I might die on stream. Mike Reed, 34-21 Lions. Alan W. He said, mailbag. This is a question for you guys too. James Houston inactive again. What's going on there? Is he washed? I personally think he's done. What do you guys think on that?
If you look at how Josh Pascal performed, he made a good tackle on Baker last week. When you're talking about the Arizona Cardinals, what are they going to try to do? They're going to at least try to get James Conner going. You have Marcus Davenport back. You want to make that front seven, especially that defensive line, as physical as possible. And I just think with James Houston, he's good at getting to the quarterbacks on third down. But for every down presence, I think they're going to be a little bit more confident with what they have, being able to rotate pieces out there and not have James Houston comparing to having James Houston, because he's a guy that if the tackle sets the edge, like not only can James Conner get loose, but now Kyler Murray can get out of the pocket. And I think that's where that Arizona Cardinals offense really gets scary. You saw it last week. He wasn't even throw to like Elijah Hodgkins. I think it was anybody that was very good. Like, I'm sorry, not to disrespect him, but it wasn't like a prevalent NFL wide receiver. And Kyler's just making plays out there.
Yeah.
I think when you have James Houston, there's a more likelihood of those plays to be made for Kyler.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I am interested with this James Houston stuff, guys. Like I was questioning it like with the week or two into the preseason, and I was just like, he hasn't been playing great, and then he showed out that last game, and then he makes the team. He's been active one game, and the one game he's active, like we just didn't see him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't do anything,
Mm-hmm.
and that was without Marcus Davenport. So it's like I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's not. I don't know. It's those things with some guys where and I try to explain this to people during preseason, and I got laughed at. There are those stretches of games, Klotz, you know this, you've probably seen this a lot, where guys just go off for like an 8-game stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And they and everyone thinks they're about to be the best in their career, the best out there. And that was just an anomaly. And I'm not saying that's James Houston. He does have talent, but we've seen the bounce back of it, and it's not what you would want it to be. Next one, Bradley Stroh said, Booner, do you think we should add the Sun God to your parlay anytime touchdown? No. You heard me what I just said to Joe.
Don't change it. It's
don't
a thing.
change the parlay.
He's serious.
Don't add.
And I respect it.
And even if and I know I have it as a straight bet. Well, with the parlay, the straight bets are straight bets for a reason. If they don't hit, you're sprinkling a little bit on there. With the parlays, you do what you think are the biggest locks of the day. And I think those are. Michael Lucci said, mailbag, I see Kyler going off huge on the ground with Anzalone inactive. What should the Lions do to limit his long runs?
I mean, we talked about it. I think the key to it is, Booner, you're talking about you almost have to double team Aiden Hutchinson now. So if you do that, DJ Reader is going to have effect. If you don't double team DJ Reader, well, then good luck. I think if they decide to double team Aiden Hutchinson, that's best case for the Lions, because now you're going to have more interior pressure. Now, Lee McNeil is a pretty athletic interior defensive tackle. So you have him, Marcus Davenport one-on-one. DJ Reader is just going to be game wrecking as far as what they're going to try to do schematically. So I don't see a case where Kyler's going to get loose against this Detroit Lions defense. I think if anything, he's going to try to create plays outside of the pocket and then throw the ball down the field. I don't see Kyler running that much, because if he does, okay, that's where you get confident that you have Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, even Jack Campbell. Like, he's athletic enough to stay with him. Amik Robertson, like the back seven, not even back seven, but the back four. Yeah, I think that I have confidence in making plays on Kyler as well.
What do you think?
No, I mean, I don't need to add much to what Klotz was saying. I think this today, we're going to see how much development this defensive line has had in terms of containing the quarterback. And we hear it, and they've been torched so much. I'm excited, even though it does put a little fear in my eyes a little bit about Kyler Murray's mobility, but I am excited. It's like a good test for this Lions defensive line and this defense in general. Like, you're going to face, man, look at the NFC and look at what Brock Purdy did to you in the NFC Championship game. Look at Jalen Hurts. These guys are mobile. You got to get used to playing mobile quarterbacks and being, you're not going to shut these guys down, but at least try and limit them, keep them in the pocket. And Kyler Murray, he's not the tallest guy. He likes to get outside the pocket. I mean, if they can show that development today, I think it'd be a huge positive to take away. Huge.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's like one of the biggest things. I would be excited. I just
think it says extending plays.
That's it.
Like, if you just find a way for he's gonna do it.
Just give Marvin Harrison Jr. an extra 2 seconds to get open.
Yeah, like he's gonna extend plays at some point. It's gonna happen. But if you limit that and then say, like, hey, instead of extending 4 or 5 plays on like a third down, like if he extends a play on a first down, okay, whatever. But like, find a way to stop it so on third down you can get off the field, and like he's not extending.
Hey, I'm gonna play this clip. John just sent us some videos here of Lions fans in Arizona chanting Jared Goff.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I mean,
Jared Goff.
Look at this.
Jared Goff. All right, no one? All right.
I mean, just the people. I mean, this is inside, and you see all the Lions fans like chanting Jared
I
Goff.
love
Like,
this.
come on, this
I
is
love this.
wild, dude. And look at all the Lions fans. This is like Ford Field, I swear.
This is unbelievable.
On the road, you see there's a couple Cardinals fans.
Man, I wore this jersey.
We're
We're
outnumbered here.
we would be worried. Imagine like if the Lions were just like a 500 team, and like the Cardinals come in and their fans are just everywhere, and you just hear Kyler Murray. I would be like, oh no, what's gonna happen today? Is this man an MVP?
Yeah,
All of a
you're like
sudden?
already in their head on the road.
Like, that's good. That's good for the Lions.
Man, I
Too.
wore
Yeah,
this
it is.
jersey.
I said that this week. I said, hey, there's always home field advantage. If you can just go in there and limit it a little bit, you've already won
Yeah.
that part of the game. Like if you have fans that will go in there and just limit the home field a little bit to where on third down it's not as loud because half of the fans are Lions fans, or on third down on defensively you're on the road and there's Lions fans cheering, like you're like, here we go, boys.
Mhm.
Shout out Real American Beer too.
Yeah, this. By the way, we have these buckets here. These buckets are deep. Like you only can see the top a couple.
There's lots of beers in there.
There's a lot of beers for game day today. And
It's a real American.
I messed up today.
what'd you do?
There's
What
one
happened?
thing I have not mentioned, and I need to start locking back in and
All
getting on my game, because if Dan Campbell has to get on his game and those guys do, and Jared Goff, I have to.
It's fair.
The Booner Path is back today. We are back
right.
alive. The Kool-Aid. This is a fresh pitcher, brand new pitcher of Kool-Aid. After the loss, we went and got a new one. The last one is shattered in my back seat. So we got a new one. We're rolling. The Booner Path starts again today. It is back on track. The detour, guess what? We took a detour. We're back on the highway.
Yep.
We are back on the
All
highway. We're back on the main highway to a Super Bowl. The Booner Path is officially back. If you guys haven't, go buy your merch. Booner
Buy the
Path merch. I would love to be walking around Detroit one day or at Ford Field and see people start sending me pictures of the Booner Path merch. That would be unbelievable.
Be the goal boom.
That's what you know. What for people that are watching, get your Run the Ball is out. Or Run the Ball
Great.
shirts. Or Run the Ball merchandise. It's out on the shop. It's live. Obviously, you can get the hats. You can get all types of gear for game day. Sub-Zero.
I'm gonna put the link
Bully.
in the chat here.
Yeah, absolutely. Get your Run the Ball shirt. It'll be, it might take a week and a half to get here, but when it does, go to a home game, wear it, tell everyone that you know to wear it. Let the Lions know on the field. Run the damn ball, and they will.
Run.
That's the theme. You can
ball.
get it on officialctsports.com. But yeah, guys, we'll be live in about 15 minutes as
Yeah.
well.
I'm a
So
little
please, for
lucky.
everyone watching, it's already up. When this stream ends,
Just hop
jump into the
next
watch
stream.
party.
I will say
Drop
this.
it before you do that. Drop a like.
Drop a
on the
like.
video
Very
for us.
important.
Everyone
not
come to the
subbed,
watch stream.
Subbed.
Everyone come to the watch stream. Tune in. We're gonna be watching the game. I did make it, and you guys could test it out. This is the first time I did it. I made it to where once our stream completely ends, it should redirect you straight to the watch party.
Let's go.
It
You know
should.
what, Boone?
It
Way
should.
to be just an
That's
absolute dog.
that's what I
Way
talk
to
about.
be a dog.
Thank you. I'm
A
not
dog.
gonna bark for anyone. I'm not gonna
No,
bark.
don't do that.
That's tech savvy. That's tech
That's
savvy.
tech savvy. Booner the tech savvy.
So it should redirect. That goes. We're going to be live at 4:20 for that. So 15 minutes.
Yep.
15 minutes. We'll be live for that.
All right, boys. Any last words? Anything you want to say, Booner?
Those
Let
Aints
the people
lost.
know. Hey, let's
Hey.
Those Aints lost.
Hey, we're back, boys. Let's go get a win, huh? Huh?
Let's get
Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
Super Bowl season.
There you
Booner
go.
Path.
Get in the
Sam
live
Laporta
stream.
today. Booner's lay of the day. I mean, let's have a night.
Yeah,
Let's
hey,
have a
by the
night.
way, just locked in Booner's Lay of the Day. If you
Drink some
didn't, I mean,
Kool-Aid.
it's free money. You're just not choosing to take it. Only bet if you're willing to lose it. Just real quick, don't bet your mortgage or nothing. We'll see you guys on the watch party.
Real American
in
beer,
about
baby.
15 minutes. Shout out to Real American Beer. We'll be drinking that on the watch party as well. Should link here directly to that. We'll see you guys. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Peace.
We'll see you. See ya.